Okay, hey there everyone, this is Miss Satchell here. I'm going to be talking to you guys about learning from home. This presentation is for both the parents of our boys, caregivers of our boys, but also for our boys about what you can do to make sure that you're staying really happy and healthy through this time and what you can be doing to improve the conditions for your learning. So in terms of this PowerPoint, we do recognise that this is a stressful time for everyone, and so this has been designed to help you working from home. So some of the ideas that we're going to be covering today are: how do you focus your mind? How can you manage your space a bit better at home? How can you manage your time, because that can be quite difficult? How do you manage the equipment that you're actually using? How can you manage your health a little bit better? And what are some strategies for staying calm? So, to kick it off, focusing your mind. So one thing that's really important is keeping a routine, making sure that you're ready in the morning, ready like it's a regular school day, so that you've had your breakfast before 9 a.m. and that you're ready to get going at the same time that a school day would normally be starting. Make sure that you say good morning to everyone, make sure that you're staying really positive and communicating with everyone. And at 9 a.m, you need to check your school portal email address, and you make sure that you check in with your Google Classroom about what some of the tasks are that you're going to be doing. What I would be recommending is that you write a to-do list for every day, because there's nothing better than crossing off something on your to-do list. As you go through your day, tick off your activities as you do them, and at the end of the day you can say, look at the things that I've actually achieved today. Make sure that you actually check all your subjects on your Google Classroom every day. And if you're in years 7 to 10, make sure that you're also keeping on top of your mathletics work as well. This will just make sure that you're touching base with all your subjects every day, particularly the subjects that you have on that day on your timetable. In terms of looking at your space at home, now this can be a difficult one. You need to try to keep your space as tidy as possible, and if you can, try to make sure it's as quiet as possible that you can actually manage. Remembering that you are going to be living at home in a shared space, so if you have other family members there, particularly brothers and sisters, make sure that you're also sharing the resources that are at home to make sure that everyone is really happy at home with what is going on. If you're using a webcam for a Zoom session, so this is particularly for our senior students, if you're using Zoom, try to make sure that you're doing that, and if you're using your face on your video feed, try to do it with a blank background as possible, because the contrast between your face and the blank background will just make it clearer for the teacher to be able to see and communicate with you. In terms of managing your time, this can be quite a difficult one, because sometimes the time seems to escape when we get distracted by other things. So there's some things that you can do to make sure that you stay on top of your activities throughout the day. So during the time that you would normally be at school, try to use this time for learning as best you can. Try to make sure that you're submitting some completed work to your teacher for feedback. That way your teacher can actually be giving you email or Google Classroom feedback directly to make sure that you're staying on top of improving your work. Make sure that you touch on items that you don't understand and communicate with your teacher so that you can actually refine and improve on areas that you're a bit concerned about. And for parents out there who may be listening, this is a really good way to stay on top of it. And if you are concerned about the progress of your child, make sure that you communicate, again, via the school, via phone or through the Google Classroom or via email, if there are specific questions that your son needs extra assistance with. A really good way of managing your time as well is to make sure you clean up your email inbox at the end of each day. If you've got replies from teachers, reply to your teachers, or delete the emails if you don't need them anymore. Just that really basic organisational skill will really help out. I also recommend that you create a weekly planner to make sure that you're touching on all your subjects consistently throughout the week. I've included some websites at the end of this PowerPoint that can help with that process as well. In terms of your equipment, some of you are using hard copy, some of you are using your workbooks, but some of you are using phones, tablets, laptops, PC computers, Mac computers. If it is a piece of equipment that needs to be charged, make sure that you're charging it overnight so that you're ready to get your work done the next day. Test all the apps that you might be using ahead of time so that you can complete your classwork without there being crashes or functions not working. If you are participating in a Zoom discussion, it's recommended that you use earphones just because the dialogue is a bit clearer rather than picking up quite so much background sound as well. Now, there are two recommendations I have for you. It's very easy to be distracted using the internet or using your phone. So there's two apps that you can use. One is called Forest, which is for your phone. Another one is called Cold Turkey, which is for your internet usage on your computer. And what it does, it sets a time limit on when you're having free time. And it helps you if you are struggling with staying focused on the task that you're meant to be doing. So for parents out there, these are two of many applications you could be using to support your son to make sure that they are staying focused in the time that you want them to be doing schoolwork and not being distracted by other things on their phones or the internet. In terms of managing your health, now, obviously this is a difficult time, but there are some really basic things that you guys can be doing to stay on top of your everyday physical health and everyday mental health. So in terms of your everyday physical health, it is recommended that you're drinking plenty of water, that you're taking a break every 45 to 60 minutes, trying to stretch your legs, do a different activity, change it up a bit. Make sure that if when you're having recess and lunch, try to eat some healthy food. It's recommended because it keeps your mind really active as well. Try to go for a bit of exercise each day, obviously maintaining the safety area, but going for a walk, doing some exercise if you've got a backyard, those sorts of things can be really useful for keeping your brain focused on the work that you're trying to do. In terms of your mental health, this is a really stressful time, and so there's things called mindfulness. Mindfulness activities help you calm your mind if you're feeling that you're a bit anxious or a bit unsettled about what's going on around you, or you're feeling a bit cooped up at home and you're feeling a bit stressed about that as well. And I've included some resources again at the end of the presentation that can help both for those students who are listening, but that is a resource that would help parents as well. So in terms of staying calm, now it's very easy for us to say stay calm, but in terms of the things that we can manage, remember your teachers will keep you informed as to what is expected. The teachers will be communicating with you and they're open for communication. So if you have questions, make sure you ask them. But if there are changes of plans, your teachers will keep in touch about that. In terms of assessments, you're not going to be punished or there's not going to be the effect of the circumstances around us currently. All assessments will be judged as the circumstances are currently. So you're not going to lose marks because you haven't handed an assignment in hard copy. If you've sent it in an email or you've taken a photo of a project, that's totally fine considering the situation we're in currently. Our priority is obviously for you to be healthy, so make sure you're keeping focused on that. And if you're completing activities for school, make sure you're also completing activities for your family as well. If you are usually helped to cook dinner, make sure you keep helping to cook dinner. These sorts of things, these routines, are really helpful for keeping you calm in what can be quite a stressful time. Now, what I've done as well is I've created what could a normal day look like. So it's difficult to know as a student what it could be, what an everyday without the structure of your classes. So a normal day could look like this. Get yourself ready for the start of the school day. Make sure you've eaten some food, make sure you're wearing comfy clothes, don't just be wearing your pyjamas, make sure you actually get changed. That's really good for getting your headspace right for getting the day ready. Make sure you've prepared your workspace, organise your books and or any technologies that you want. If you have some water near you as well, that stops you kind of using the excuse of I've got to go to the kitchen, I've got to go get a drink. Get yourself prepped, ready to go, ready to learn from the beginning of the day. Make your to-do list for the day. Check what work is due soon. Check what assignments are due for all your subjects. My recommendation is to put at least 5 things that are school-related on your to-do list each day, because that would then reflect the 5 different school periods that you would have of that school day. Examples of this could include an athletics set of questions, or it could be a HISI task, it could be reading a chapter for a book for English. Make sure you're setting specific things that you can achieve by the end of that day. Work for 35 to 40 minutes at a time, making sure you're working through your checklist activities. Make sure you take a break for 15, 20 minutes or so between each of these sections, because that will refresh your mind. If you can do a little bit of exercise between then as well, that would be also really, really valuable, because it will clear your head for the next subject that you're trying to do at home. Make sure at the end of your school day you pack up all your resources and the space is tidy for everyone else at home to be using it, but also so that when you start your work the next day, you don't have to be cleaning up the mess that you might have left from the day before. In terms of some resources, I've allocated some resources for mindfulness and staying on top of your mental health. So there are some websites and some apps you can be using for that. So mindful.org has got some practice meditation exercises on it. It's also got some literature you can read to support that. There's also the Headspace website, which is an excellent resource designed particularly for students to support stress, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed. Particularly right now, it's a very valuable website. And there's also this website here, which is schools.au.reachout.com, which actually has a app that you can download onto your phone to support breathing exercises and making you a little bit more self-aware about managing your health. Yeah. So another resource that you can use is the schools.au.reachout.com website, which allows you to download a resource onto your phone. It downloads an app, and this will support you through specific breathing exercises and helps you make more mindful decisions. It settles your mind. It's an excellent application. If you feel, however, that these resources are not enough and you're feeling really overwhelmed, please feel free to reach out to me. So that's me. This is Miss Satchell speaking, and that's my email address there. And you can email me directly. And if we need to, we can organise a Zoom meeting, and I can have a bit of a chat to you to explain and to settle and to have some discussions around some of the stress that you might be feeling. Another resource that I mentioned earlier is the study and homework timetables. There are a huge range of resources that are free to use online, as well as different apps that you can use on different platforms. So what I've done is collected a couple of them here. This first website reference here has collected all the best apps that you could use for 2020. And there's some great free ones there, including Woven, Google Calendars and DigiCal. That way you can block in when you're going to be doing a specific activity onto your calendar, and so you can track it electronically. Another one is myhomeworkapp.com, where you can create a free account, and that can help support managing your homework more effectively. So what we have there is, again, my email address if you'd like to communicate with me, and I can help you create a study timetable. Please email me if you've got any questions, and you can and I'll create your personalised timetable for that. So best of luck, guys. I'll keep in touch, and if you've got any wellbeing concerns, you're feeling overwhelmed or whatever it could be, please be in touch, and I'll get back to you directly.